everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a fabulous Wednesday. I'm Abby Glassenberg, and I'm the co-founder of Craft Industry Alliance. And we come here live every Wednesday to do our member spotlight, where we drop in on a Craft Industry Alliance member and learn more about their business. And today, we're very excited to be able to welcome Tori McElwain. Tori's been a longtime member of Craft Industry Alliance, and she's also someone who teaches people how to develop certain business skills, which I'm hoping she'll tell us more about. She's also going to be one of our instructors at H&H University, which is a day-long conference that takes place before H&H America is the trade show in Chicago. So I'm excited to be welcoming Tori. Hopefully she'll be able to join us here in just a moment. Tori, if you are here, hit the plus sign at the bottom and I will let you in. So I'm very excited to have Tori join us. I wanted to just give you a quick update on other things that are happening here at Craft Industry Alliance. The main one is that nominations are open for the Golden Scissors Awards, and we for these industry awards, and you can find that right on our homepage in the top navigation bar. So head over there later today, click that button and nominate someone. Hi, Tori, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very nice to see you. I'm great. And I'm excited to have you as our member spotlight today. And you've always got a lot going on, but tell us a little bit about what's new and what's exciting over at your headquarters.
Yeah, oh, thank you for having me. This is really fun. So I what am I doing? I just got done with a class actually. We were talking about titles and covers because what I do is I help quilters and crafters with their digital marketing, and I do that in a few different ways. One way I do it is with my book, Workshops Unleashed. I self-published it, and inside it talks about course design and marketing. And then I also have a group called SPI, which is Self-Publishing Incubators, and that was what we were just doing today. And that I do marketing for, I help them with their marketing for their book. So we help them launch their book and we help them market it online. And then I also do it with my digital marketing magic coaching program, which is really, really fun. So we talk a lot about websites over here, a lot about SEO, a lot about social media, and how to get more eyes on everyone's offers, like quilt patterns, their classes, their long arming services, things like that.
So, what are some common things that get in people's way when they're thinking about marketing something that they have coming out, maybe a self-published book or a course, something that they want to get the word out? And we're talking, pretty much like independent makers, designers, teachers, that kind of person. And you work with so many of them. I'm thinking that you probably have seen certain commonalities of things that kind of crop up for people that get in their way when it comes to marketing.
I have. So probably the number one thing is that they feel like they have to be everywhere and do all of the heavy lifting. Where if if I can help them focus on one platform and really go all in on one social media platform, and then also use their network. So when I said they have to do it all alone, many times they don't think about reaching out to be guests on channels like the Craft Industry Alliance or with other people's podcasts. I do also have a podcast called Quilting on the Side. So we do invite guests in to share what they're doing and things like that, where they think they have to do it all and they have to be everywhere. But if we can create and craft a plan for them, we can lower their lower their stress, lower their overwhelm, have them show up fully and more enjoyably. And when you do that, you tend to sell more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so when you work with clients, sort of more on like a one-on-one situation, how do you kind of help them to make a strategy? Are they like writing down a 30-day plan, or like what is your approach to sort of working with people? If someone's watching and is thinking, I might need this kind of help, but I want to learn more about how it's done.
Yeah, so my clients always start with, or not always, but usually start with a 30-minute call where we get on a call together. I ask them, what are they doing now? And what would they love their marketing to look like in a year? And then I answer any top questions they have. Usually they come with a struggle or a challenge, or they have specific questions that they're not finding the answers online, and we go through that. But I look at mainly I steer them towards where is your ideal client and how do you like to show up where they are? And then we focus their marketing around those two key questions or the answers to those key questions.
Yeah, and do you have some examples of people who have been able to go from maybe not having such a successful strategy in place to someone who's really been able to elevate their business and bump up sales and just be like way more successful than they were previously?
I do have one that comes right at top of my mind. Her name is Monica. She launched the quilt, the North Box. And before we started working together, she wasn't sure how to get this started, how to get it off the ground. She had a few ideas, and I feel like mostly I was like her cheerleader, kind of keeping her on blinders to help her focus on where she needs to show up, who she needs to be speaking to help her get the word out about this wonderful box that curated and created. And she's a Canadian pattern designer originally, and now she has both her pattern design and teaching business and a box that's curated for Canadian quilters.
Yeah, so cool. All right, that's a great example. And tell us a little bit about your self-published book. So this is a book about creating a workshop so that you can teach, which is a great income stream and also a lot of fun and also really informative when it comes to learning more about the customers that you might be serving, the questions that they might, be having about your patterns or your approach to making. So I think teaching is really a great opportunity. But I did go to ed school for grad school, so I know that teaching is actually more complicated than it seems on the surface. Sometimes if you feel like, well, if I know how to do it, I can teach it, and that's not always the case.
That's true. I mean, teaching is like the best way to learn. So I love that you said that. Teaching, having so teaching in the because I taught in the public sphere and I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, and that's what I basically put into this book is how to take that public education experience plus my master's degree in curriculum instruction and how to actually apply it to the public world, where a lot of it is these little subtle moves of marketing. I call it like ninja marketing when you're in a class. So not only do you want to have like a well-structured class where you know what's going to happen, you can set up the class to where your students feel successful and excited, but also how can you let them know that there are other things that you do and other ways that they can
Mhm.
support you as a teacher or in your business. If you're mainly a pattern designer, kind of depends on what you're doing. But having a structured course, having something where you know what's going to happen and you know how to communicate that well and how to demonstrate your technique, how to really help them complete. Because with quilting, typically we have like 2 hours. You don't always finish an entire quilt top in that time. So you want to make sure that they are set up for success of when they leave that class so they can finish their project. They feel successful, they feel excited, but you also have to leave room for socializing because a lot of our ideal customers, they come together to learn, but also to have fun with their friends. So
Right.
there's a nice balance there where you got to be able to balance the curriculum, balance what they need to learn, but also give them time to be social, to have fun, to create. And it's a lot going on in a class.
It
As a
is. And when you're teaching adults too, they come with a lot of baggage sometimes. They come to what's essentially an art class, right, where they're going to be making something. Sometimes with feelings of inferiority, like I'm not good at this, other people know more than me, or better at this than me, or that kind of feeling. Or they sometimes come with, I already know how to do this. I don't need instruction on how to do this. I have my own way, or I already know the best way and this is the wrong way. So, it's interesting. It's very different from teaching children. And so I don't know if you have any tips for people who may have experience with their own children or with teaching children, but are now transitioning into adult education.
Well, I actually, one of the favorite parts of the feedback that I've gotten about the book is one of their favorite parts is called Meet the Students, where we go through several like avatars, and I have different ways of helping students go through a class. One of them is Talkative Tina. So if you have a talkative Tina in your class who is talking the whole time, she's talking to you, she's talking to people next to her, and it's really fun. She's having a great time, but she's slowing down the instruction. We're kind of losing people as they get lost in conversation with her and they're missing key steps or something like that. There are ways to help her have time to talk and have fun, but also help you keep the class moving. So it's little things like that. One of the things I love to give tips on right off the bat is when you walk in the room and you start your class, letting people know where all the things are can just set them up for success. I know it seems really simple and really
Yeah.
like, but if you let them know where the restroom is, when
Right.
you're going to take breaks so they can eat, where the cutting station is, where's the ironing stations are, and that they will have time to do whatever they need to do. Setting that up right off the bat can help set the mood for the entire class, and it can help them feel more relaxed and more focused. And then if you embrace your mistakes, so if you drop something, if you if you got something wrong, if you put up a video and the sound isn't working, just giving yourself grace, and especially in front of these other students, it will communicate that you will give them grace when they make a mistake.
This is
And
such a
then
good perspective.
celebrating, and celebrating the whole time, just being their cheerleader. Because as adults, we never have it, or we hardly ever have a cheerleader. So being that cheerleader for your students can really go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. And no matter whether you're teaching quilting or a different craft, this is a way for people to express themselves in their free time. We all have that in common. At Craft Industry Alliance, we're all creating things for people to creative self-expression and something that they're going to probably be doing after work or on the weekends or on a retreat or with friends. And so you do want to, make it into, I think you're really right, into a positive experience that allows people to relax and have fun and feel secure throughout the whole process. And that's what's going to keep them coming back to take your next class or buy your book or buy your patterns and become your fan. So I think
Mhm.
that that's really great tips. And I do want to mention you're going to be teaching at H&H University and at H&H Americas. You're going to be teaching a business class during one of the 3 days of the show as well. So during H&H University, the class is actually really designed for teachers and designers.
Mhm. We're going to go into how to create a basic website and how to do high converting landing pages. So when you go to a website and you see a page that's just dedicated to one thing, so maybe it's a class list, even if it's a class listing, a pattern listing, or anything like that, that's a landing page. So we're going to talk about the best ways to kind of format it, what copy you need, and how to best encourage them to sign up.
Right, exactly. So that you can build a big waiting list, lots of anticipation, so that you have a very singular call to action.
Yes.
And those landing pages can be very, very effective. So it's worth learning how to set one up effectively so that anytime in the future when you have something to launch, whether that's a new class, a new pattern, a virtual summit, anything like that, you have that one page where you're going to be able to get people on board to get excited with you about that. So that's for H&H University, and it is really for designers and teachers. And then during the business class, which is one of the 3 days of the show, you're going to be teaching about something we all need to think about because it's the way that search is changing.
Yes. So that class is going to be, I think it's on Friday. Yeah, it's on Friday. And it's all about SEO and AI search. I was going to call it GEO, but so that's one thing that marketers are still kind of playing with on what to call AI search. I like AI search. It kind of keeps it simple and a little more easier to understand right off the bat than GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization. But we're going to talk about how to optimize so that Google can find you and so that ChatGPT can find you and all those other chat like Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, so they can find your business. So when your customers are going on to these search engines and they're asking, where are the quilt shops near me? Where are the teachers near me that teach X, Y, Z? That you will come up in the recommendations and how to optimize that so that it will recommend you.
Yes, and one thing about operating a business that has some kind of online component is that it's constantly changing. That's just something, that's the one thing that always stays the same is it's constantly changing. And we all know
Mhm.
that AI is making things hugely disruptive and different. And so we need to learn how to keep up with what's going on. And search is a really big part of that. So search is changing. We've got to change and learn how to do it. And that's one of the reasons people come to the trade show is to learn what's new. And so I think this is going to be a really exciting class and it's open to anyone at the show who wants to take it. not just designers and teachers, it's really for everybody. So, and if you have an online presence, this is a great class for you. So, Tori, this is fantastic. Where can people go online to kind of keep up with all the, because you do a lot of different things to keep up with all the things that you're doing?
I do. So my main Instagram is going to be heytori.tech. I'm shifting things over from my former name, which is the Quilt Patch by Tori. So you may see that kind of dripped in there.
Okay.
But Hey Tori is my new business name. And you can find me at heytori.tech, not .com, but .tech. That's going to be my website. It's going to take you straight to my landing page where you can see all of my offers.
Yeah, and then you can get an example of a landing page so that you know what it looks like and why you need one. So, well, this has been great. We love having you as a member and all of your expertise. So, thank you so much, and thanks for joining us for our member spotlight.
Thank you, Abby.
All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for coming today. See you next week.